When I consider who to trust with my vision health, it is an easy choice with Eye Centers of Tennessee. As a working entrepreneur, Eye Centers of Tennessee helps keep my business in focus. But even more so as a single mom, I know I can trust them with my family's eye care needs. You have a choice when it comes to your vision health. Choose Eye Centers of Tennessee. Welcome to Powered by Her. I'm Tiffany Anton with the Biz Foundry. Thank you to Eye Centers of Tennessee for your amazing partnership with Powered by Her. You can get all your eyeglasses, contacts, eye exams, all your optical needs at Eye Centers of Tennessee, 8 locations throughout the Upper Cumberland. Go and check them out. Today we have Amber Larkins with Fitography Files in today. Amber, thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's awesome to have you here. And so you just have a huge heart for women.
I do.
And their stories. And so tell me what Fitography Files, it's going to be, I'm going to stop each time and say it. But
yes.
Tell me what it is and what you're doing.
So Fitography Files started as fitness photography, hence the name. I have been involved in fitness for years, 20-something years.
So just when you were a baby, right?
Oh no, I wasn't a baby. But no, I've always had a big heart for fitness, a big passion. It's played a big part in my life. And so when I got into doing photography, I was like, it would be really cool to shoot fitness. And I just asked a friend if I could photograph her, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
So people who are in, this is like bodybuilding world, kind of.
Yes.
And so people who are in that world sometimes need photos for contest or competitions that they enter and stuff. Is that kind of?
Yeah. So the idea really is that when people get in that optimal conditioning, that they want and need pictures. And so I saw a need for it. This has been like 10 years ago. And I was just like, oh, it'd be really cool to shoot athletes. And I've always been completely intrigued by the human body, just what can happen in such a short amount of time with the human physique. I mean, I'm intrigued by pregnancy. I'm intrigued by anything that people can do to kind of alter their physique and just even healing. I mean, even from like a healing perspective, it amazes me what the human physique is capable of.
Yeah, what it can do on its own.
Yes.
And then with a little help and work and I do think it's amazing what work people can put in.
Yeah, for sure. So I started doing just kind of did it as a hobby, and then it just kind of turned into a business. And I fell in love with it. I love being artistic. I love, taking pictures of people, and especially when they've coupled with their mindset and being able to like take their mindset, apply it to something, and accomplish goals that they've had for years. They get in their physique in this optimal condition, and then it's great to have photos. So I transitioned though. I love fitness. I still do. I'll always have a heart for fitness. I love the mindset behind it. I love the athletic, you would think it's kind of catty, but it's not at all. Fitness people are extremely helpful and they want to help other people excel and accomplish
reach their goals. And
So, I love the industry. But one thing I didn't like about the industry, I really didn't like the over-sexualization. And I felt like with the rise of social media, there was this over-sexualization. I didn't like that. I didn't like that, you basically take all your clothes off for likes or followers or whatever. And so I just kind of vowed I would never really exploit women in any kind of way. Mm-hmm. So I really tried to shoot more to honor the physique, not the sexuality.
Mm-hmm. Which is a fine line to find the balance of, I would guess.
It is, and it's taken me really years, and I don't even know if I'm probably just barely scratching the surface of that.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you what really was kind of, I guess, like disheartening to me was I would get women that would reach out to me and say, oh, I'd love to shoot with you, but I'm just not in shape. And I would look at these women and they were like perfect. You know, they might not be competition ready. They may not have, you know, veins popping out of their abs, but to me, they looked perfect. And it really started to kind of impact me a lot, to the point where I was like, I don't want people to feel like they can't shoot or they can't come to me for photos just because they're not in competition shape.
Yeah. That's the only level of beautiful that exists. And that's where
Exactly.
you were kind of feeling like women were feeling like that. Like,
Yes.
Someday, you're an attainable goal for me someday when I get to that point, but not
Yes.
now.
Yes.
I'm not good enough now.
Yes, which is, I think, great to have goals. I think it's great. Some people will set up a photo shoot knowing that this is a goal I'm trying to attain. That's fine. But the problem for me was, my goal was to show women how beautiful they are. When you do hit a goal, you deserve to, you know, to relish in that. And so I'm like, when you hit those goals, that's fine. But if maybe that's not your goal, maybe your goal is to graduate college, or maybe your goal is to start a business, or whatever that goal is, and that's beautiful too. And it still stems from the same mindset. Like fitness, you have this mindset, and it still stems from that same mindset.
That goal-driven mindset of like, I have passion to do to get to a certain place.
Yes, yes. And to me, that's beautiful. That's how, when a woman feels beautiful, she feels confident, that's beautiful.
And it spills over into so many aspects of their life.
Yes,
Yeah.
So I transitioned, I dabbled some in branding. A lot of times, a lot of that had to do with a lot of the fitness people that I was shooting had, you know, they were influencers for certain brands, or they had their own businesses, personal training, food prep, these different businesses that had to do with fitness. And so I transitioned some in branding by accident. But then I really got into women's empowerment, because my purpose is to make women feel beautiful. I love it. I don't think there's any other driving passion. Fitness is my passion. I love business. I love many things, but there is something that really like grabs my heart when it comes to showing women how beautiful they are.
And giving them the power that their beauty enables them to act in life, I guess. You know,
Yes.
I think there's something, like you said, there's a confidence in feeling beautiful and just carrying yourself in a different way that doesn't happen, you know, from the outside sources. I think that there's ways that, you know, you can see beauty from a different lens, if you will.
Yeah, and I think the goal is to when women can feel that, you know, when they come into a shoot with me, I want them to feel beautiful. I encourage hair and makeup before a shoot. I encourage them to look at it as like an experience. It's glam time, because when they can feel that part, I just think it empowers them. You know, still there's this thing where I had a lady reach out to me recently, and you know, she's just like, I wish I knew that woman in the pictures. And I'm like, it gave me an opportunity to speak into her life and say, you know, you are that woman. You know, like it breaks my heart that women can't see it. And I'm guilty of it. I think we are all guilty of it on some level. But when women can begin to, that's me.
Yeah.
You know, I went and I had branding pictures done when I rebranded my business, and I felt the same way. I looked at it and I was like, whoa, that's me.
Yeah.
But to me, it was empowering, and the women that look at it and say, that's not me, or I can't believe that's me, it gives me an opportunity to encourage them.
So tell me about a time where you worked with somebody that after seeing the pictures that you've taken, that you feel like there was a transformation within them.
You know, I mean, I can't really think of a specific time. I'll tell you, like, I think it happens a lot, though.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to say that women, it's not like a night and day. But I think that they come to me when they're already, like, in the middle of a transition. you know, if they've lost weight. I've shot women that have lost a lot of weight, and they've come to me, and that's empowering. So I think they're kind of already in the middle of that, but I think being able to just use that almost as an award, a reward.
And you've done some kind of storytelling through your photography of women who have gone through some traumas.
Yes.
And so tell me about that and where that came about, or what was the passion for developing and knowing the importance of that?
So those shoots have been super impactful, and I would say this probably came about maybe, I'd say 2 years ago, and maybe even before that I started having it on my heart. Well, I had several fitness girls that came to me, and they would tell me like these stories of them overcoming. I've got a really good friend. She has an amazing story of just overcoming, where they told her she would never walk again, and then she ended up going so far into fitness. It was amazing. And, you know, then I had other people that had debilitating diseases that they said they could never lift weights, and then now they're like lifting. And these stories impacted me a lot. And I kept thinking in the back of my mind, how can I, it's not fair I get to hear these stories and no one else gets to hear them. So how can I communicate this in some way, shape, or form? This did not come about easily or overnight. This was years of praying about this and trying to figure out exactly how God wanted me to do that, or use my talent to do that. And then over time, it just kind of, it came to me piece by piece. You know, I was shooting with a videographer, and he kind of come up with the name. He's like, this is kind of like Transformation Through Trauma. And I'm like, that's the name of my shoots. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but that has been more of where I want women to be able to, women that have these stories of impact, I want them to be able to share their trauma, what they've been through, and then what they've overcome through it.
And celebrate that. Like,
And
celebrate where they're
yes, celebrate it. And I think it's empowering to other women.
at. I think sometimes when you've gone through trauma and you just are going, it takes someone else to stop and say, hey, do you know, like, look at the journey you've been on. Look at the path that you've been through, and stop for a moment. Because when you feel like you have to have some drive and you have to be going somewhere, then you're just looking ahead. You never stop to look at the path you've come down.
That's true. And something else too that I think is so impactful about these shoots is that they impact others. So I feel like we're all at different stages. I mean, I think almost everyone's endured some type of trauma in their life. I mean, we've all had things happen to us. On what level, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
And some people are ready to talk about those things, and then some people I think aren't. And the ones that aren't, when they can see, hey, this person overcame this particular situation.
Something similar to, it's
Something
relatable.
similar, yeah. And if they've overcame it, and now they're running a thriving business, or now they are, you know,
Raising a family, or, any of those things.
Yeah. It's amazing because, you know, I think it's empowering to the people that are looking at it,
I think
watching
that
and hearing the
that's
stories.
something that with the Powered by Her community that I feel is so important. I don't know how many guests that I've had to beg and bother and bug to get in here and tell their story, because I think that they just think, it's not important. And I'm like, but you're so inspiring to other people. Other people hear what you've done, and they think, oh, I relate to this element of that, and I could do that too. And so I love that you have a heart through photography to try and empower and impact the women's community. And I love that you're trying to build this up.
Yeah, thank you. It's definitely a passion of mine. I love it. I love the creativity of it.
So let's talk a little bit about the entrepreneur and the business aspect of things. So you decided to become a photographer, and you were taking pictures, but growing a business and finding more clients and actually running a business, how do you manage that? And you have a day job too. How do you manage kind of all of that together?
It's not easy. I don't think it's easy at all, but But I think when you have passion for something, you find a way.
Yeah.
There is, I think people need to get really clear on their why they're doing something.
Are you a journaler? Do you write?
I would love to write more.
Yeah.
I do write sometimes, but I would love to do it more. I feel like there's just not enough time in the day.
I don't particularly think I enjoyed it that much, but I think I'm a talker in my head. I have lots and lots and lots of conversations in my head, and so I think that why I is something I go over a lot in my head and kind of refine that.
I think
and
it's so necessary.
It's your drive behind things, and so then when you can explain that to other people and they get what you're doing and why you're doing. It really kind of makes an impact.
Yeah. Well, I think just being super clear on why. Why am I doing this and what my purpose is? Because you're definitely going to have days where you're tired and you don't want to keep going and you just want to relax and watch TV, which I never really watch TV, but.
Well, so how did you get the resource or kind of the knowledge or resources to kind of build this business? Like I said, marketing, or how much to charge for the things that you're doing, and how to make an impact but still have the business, and where do you get support and motivation for that?
This has probably come, little by little over years of doing it. I don't think I had a definite moment. The only real definite moment I can point to is a few years ago I went through a divorce, and when my husband, he decided he didn't really want to be married anymore, and so when he left, it was kind of like now this is kind of all on my shoulders, and so I become so clear on my why, and I went through all the feelings myself, feeling like not enough, feeling like why am I not enough, and I think getting clear on no, I am enough, and cannot control other people, but I think this is it got me really clear. I would say if there's one defining moment that pointed me back, that I could point back to, I would say it was that moment where I knew in that moment I must drive ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's nothing more driven than a single mom. I feel like a single mom, when she first started, figuring out, okay, I'm doing this, I got to do this on my own. Let me figure it out.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of drive in that.
There is.
So tell us what is your why? If you had to define your why real concisely, what would you say your why is?
I would say my why is making women look and feel beautiful, reassuring them that they are beautiful, because I think there's beauty in every person. I think there's beauty in everything.
Yeah.
There's this I think it's a meme or whatever that says something about photographers that we find the beauty in everything. And I see that in people. And I feel honored and blessed to be able to shoot people and pull out their best attributes, hide the things that they're uncomfortable about, It's all about, it kind of goes back to this whole thing of lighting. Like we highlight the things that, that we're happy
about. Make us look the best and feel the best, and we're most confident about.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with
I think that people do that in life in general, right?
Yeah.
So if you had to kind of take out a crystal ball, where do you see this going in 5 years? What do you see happening, and how do you think you're going to impact the women's community here in the Upper Cumberland?
Yeah. I don't know. Photography is, like I said, definitely a passion of mine. However, I do think photography is a vehicle. And I do think my purpose it goes beyond photography. I don't know where God's going to take me. I'm totally open to that. But I will say that I think that I will have a platform to speak into other women's lives.
I think that God and Terrence Page brought you to the Powered by Her community for a reason, and I think you can be a really valuable asset to this community and what we're doing and how we're growing, and we're trying to impact this region and the women here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm very blessed that
God
Terrence
and
introduced me to you, and
Yeah.
it's been great. I know you and I, like, when we met the first time, it was just kind of like
I know. It was like, your heart is so genuine and pure. And what, I love, not very many people do you hear say the word empowered. And people will write it or, wear the shirts but to speak it into existence, I think is so huge.
Oh, gosh, it's huge. Yes.
And so for you to say that when we first met, I want to empower women, I was like, that's impactful.
Yeah, because women are strong. If women could be empowered to their true ability,
Yeah.
I mean,
we're gonna change the world, that's for sure.
I think so.
I'm just saying. So how can people find you if they're looking for Fitography Files? How do they find you?
So I'm very active on Instagram under Fitography Files, and it's spelled like photography, but with the FIT instead of the PH. And then I have a website. And
what is your website?
Photographyfiles.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you can look up Amber Larkins and find her photography, find her stories, the trauma through transformation through trauma. She's got those on her Instagram, and so you can read through
they
some
can
of those.
see those on the Instagram, and then there's updates coming to the website with all of the information. Those are relatively newly launched.
But they're so great. It's so great to see, like I said, just the heart that you have for the women of the community. I cannot wait to see what you do and where you go and how you take this, because I think that, like you said, it's just a vehicle, and so where the vehicle takes you is a bigger destination.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm really excited. Thank you, Amber, for coming in today.
Thank you for
Be
having
sure
me.
to subscribe to the Powered by Her channels wherever you listen to us, and if you're loving what we're doing, leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you.